Ohio's agriculture heritage is so long and rich, it seems hard to imagine that it could ever be lost or forgotten. But the average age of an Ohio farmer is 54, and fewer of farmers' children and grandchildren have chosen to stay on the farm. Demographics have shifted. For several generations now, the vast majority of Americans have been born and raised in cities, with little opportunity to see firsthand how food is grown or develop a connection with the land. And yet, considering the world's growing population and the urgent need for new sources of food and fuel, it's now more than ever that Ohio farms need young, inventive minds. But how do you get urban and suburban kids interested in agriculture and the natural world? Well, Lake Metro Park's Farmpark has found
I'd like to welcome you to the Border Collie demonstration.
animals are a good way to start.
When Farmpark was established in 1990, the basic thought was that we would help modern Americans understand where their food and fiber comes from. And keeping in mind that today probably less than 2% of the population produces most of the food that we consume. And that's something that has changed dramatically in the last 30, 40 years and is continuing to change. The population on the farms continues to decline relative to the rest of the population. So that was the basic core mission, is just helping people understand that, with the thought that if people understood where their food comes from and how it was produced, that they might have a better sense when they made choices about what foods to eat, where they were buying their foods from, and also perhaps in bigger issues like preserving farmland and preserving open space, that would become important. When you think about the fact that potatoes come in a sack, and milk comes in a jug, and bread comes wrapped up in bags, you don't think about everything that goes into providing that, or that there's even the connection to the earth in any of that.
A lot of children will leave the farm park, and that may be the only time that they ever milk a cow, is here at the farm park. But I think it's important for them to have that understanding of where it comes from and what it really takes for that glass of milk to get on their table. You know, a cow drinks nearly 40 gallons of water, and they eat a bale of hay a day just to produce the milk that we drink every day. And I think it's important that youngsters understand it's not just the white milk that they see in the glass, but someone had to take care of that cow and grow the grain and grow the grass to make the hay and get the clean water for them, so they understand the value of what they're drinking.
Fun as it all is, there's also serious learning going on.
On our renewable energy tour, the children look at two aspects of renewable energy: the wind energy and solar energy. In the wind energy, after they learn a little bit about different kinds of wind turbines, they actually get to create their own wind turbine and then test it. Up at the Plant Science Center, where they learn about the solar energy, they look at solar panels, and then they come inside and they do little experiments with solar panels to see what angle of light is most effective in producing the most amount of energy.
The renewable energy program that we've developed at Farmpark is really part of the whole sense of giving people an understanding of where their food comes from. Because when you think about it, farmers basically take solar energy and store it for our consumption, both in plants and in animals. And the wind energy is something that humans have used for thousands of years, and farmers have used, for example, for pumping water, for grinding corn. And when you think about this area and further west, one reason that folks were able to settle here was the ability to use wind to pump water. Making that connection was fairly logical for us. And today, of course, energy is at the forefront. So if they learn some of the mechanics about wind turbines and some of the mechanics about solar production, maybe they'll start investigating and go into physics or something in high school or college or whatever, and go on and be doing research and coming out with the next best solar panel or the next best design on a wind turbine.
Even if only a few end up making agriculture their life's work, visitors will almost certainly leave with a renewed sense of connection to the land. Not bad for a day at the park.
One of the important things is for kids to understand that agriculture is part of the natural system and we're part of the natural system, and if they can get that love of it, maybe they'll go on and do greater things in their lives that are related to growing and nurturing things.